let us utilize this general expression of H to obtain the magnetic field intensity for an infinite current carrying wire or infinite current carrying conductor. So let us assume any infinite current carrying wire, as you can see from your screen, it is extended up to infinity in both the sides. Let us say current I is flowing through this infinite wire, and let us try to find out the magnetic field intensity at point P, which is at a distance of capital R from this infinite wire. Again I am repeating. Consider any infinite current carrying wire having current I, and let us try to find out the magnetic field intensity at point P. Point P is at a perpendicular distance of capital R from this infinite wire. So this is our case. We are trying to utilize our standard expression of H. We have seen the expression of H for finite straight current carrying conductor, isn't it? We have seen the expression of magnetic field intensity H for straight finite current carrying wire. Now we are going to utilize that expression to obtain the general expression of H for this infinite current carrying wire. So first of all, let us try to recall our general expression of H for the finite straight conductor or finite straight wire. It is like this. Now you must have got this expression fixed into your mind, isn't it? We have utilized this many times before. I, it is the current through that wire. Capital R, it is the perpendicular distance of the required point. We have seen each and every term that is used in this expression. Alpha 1, alpha 2, these are the angles made by the segments of endpoints of the wire and the required point with capital R, and of course the unit vector. So we have seen each and every detail of this expression. So now we are going to utilize this expression of H for finite straight current carrying conductor to obtain the magnetic field intensity for infinite straight current carrying conductor. So this is our infinite straight current carrying wire or current carrying conductor, and we are finding its magnetic field intensity H at point P. We have assumed that point P is at a perpendicular distance of capital R from this wire or from this line containing the wire. So this is our case. So you know, this current I, distance capital R, and the unit vector interpretation, these things will be exactly same as we have got in the standard expression for the finite current carrying wire, isn't it? This is all straight wire, and that standard expression is also for the straight wire. Yes or no? So these things will be exactly same. Only you need to find out alpha 1 and alpha 2 for this infinite wire case. That things will be only peculiar. So let us find out alpha 1 and alpha 2 for this infinite straight current carrying wire. What is alpha 1? It is the angle made by the segment joining the initial point of the wire and the required point with the perpendicular distance capital R. Am I right? So as you clearly observe from the figure, when you try to draw such segment joining the initial point of the wire and the required point P, it is almost parallel to the wire, almost parallel to this line containing wire. Yes or no? It is quite obvious. What is initial point? From where the current enters into the wire. And as our wire is infinite, so initial point of the wire will be at infinity. And when you try to draw the segment joining the initial point of the wire, that means infinity, to the required point P, you are connecting the fixed point P with infinity. So try to visualize that segment. You can clearly observe from the figure that segment will be almost parallel to this infinite wire. Or in other words, this segment will make an angle 90 degree with the capital R. You can observe from the figure. Yes or no? So this segment joining the initial point of the wire and the required point P, this segment is making an angle 90 degree with the perpendicular distance capital R. And hence, my dear, according to our definition, alpha 1 will be numerically 90 degree. It can be positive, it can be negative, that we will see in just few seconds. But alpha 1, according to our standard derivation, according to our standard convention, it will be numerically 90 degree. Similarly, exactly on the similar way, you can observe that the segment joining the final point of the wire and the required point P is also perpendicular to capital R. That means alpha 2 is also numerically 90 degree. So for this infinite wire, alpha 1 and alpha 2, they both are numerically equal to 90 degree. They can be positive, can be negative, that we will decide now. But for the infinite wire, alpha 1 and alpha 2, they both are numerically 90 degree. Now you know that alpha 1 and alpha 2, they can be positive or they can be negative. So how do we decide that? How do we decide that which one is positive and which one is negative? For that, we take the reference of perpendicular distance capital R, and with respect to that reference capital R, we divide the line containing the wire into two parts, positive and negative. Yes or no? Now you know that. So for our case, capital R is our reference, and we have assumed that current flowing through this wire is like this. So you can clearly observe from the figure, for our case, for our illustration, this side will be the positive side of the wire and the other one will be the negative side of the wire. So now you, my dear, you can clearly observe that the end point of the wire, or alpha 2, is falling on the positive side, while the initial point of the wire, or alpha 1, it is coming into the negative side of the wire. So alpha 2 will be plus 90 or 90, but alpha 1 will be minus 90. So for this infinite wire, alpha 1 will be minus 90 and alpha 2 will be plus 90. So now let us put all the values together into the expression, and you can clearly observe that we can easily get the general expression of H for an infinite current carrying wire at point P, which is at a distance of capital R from the wire or from that infinite line. Very simple, I upon 2 pi R, and the unit vector interpretation as we already know. So my dear, you can remember this expression as a general expression for finding magnetic field intensity H for any infinite straight current carrying wire. Am I right? This you can treat as a general expression for the H of the infinite wire. Because you know, had we taken this infinite wire as like this, with current in the reverse direction, or as like this, with any random direction placed in any random location, whatever, in each case we would have got alpha 1 as minus 90 and alpha 2 as plus 90. Check out the diagrams carefully. Check out the diagrams carefully and try to find out alpha 1 and alpha 2 in each case. In any case, whatever the location you take for that wire, whatever the direction of current you take for that infinite wire, for any infinite current carrying wire, we would get alpha 1 as minus 90 and alpha 2 as plus 90. Because you know, my dear, we have seen that the alpha 1 and alpha 2, positive and negative nature of the alpha 1 and alpha 2, that doesn't depend on the actual location of the wire. It depends on the relative position, relative with respect to capital R in conjunction with the direction of current. Yes or no? So for any infinite current carrying straight wire, according to our convention of the expression, we would always get alpha 2 as plus 90 and alpha 1 as minus 90. So after putting alpha 2 and alpha 1, we would get this expression as a general expression for any infinite current carrying wire for obtaining the magnetic field intensity at point P at a distance of perpendicular distance of capital R from that wire.